Today let us discuss about thermal method of analysis. As we know that thermal, it is related to temperature, that is heat treatment. So it is a method of analysis in which sample under study will be subjected to heat treatment and change in the weight of the sample will be measured as a function of temperature or time. So this change in the weight of the sample will be plotted against temperature or time, and that is what is known as pyrolysis curve, or we call it as thermolysis curve or thermogravimetric curve. So it involves different methods like thermal gravimetric analysis is there, which we call TGA. That is the measure of change in weight during heating or cooling. Then differential scanning calorimetry is there, that is DSC, in which we measure the heat absorbed or liberated during heating or cooling. Or DTA method is there, in which you will measure the temperature difference between the sample and the reference. Now let us talk about the thermogravimetric analysis method, in which you will be monitoring the change in the mass of the sample. So in this, the mass of the sample will change on heating, and that will be recorded. So as you can see the instrument, it is having a sample holder in which you will be placing the sample, and then furnace is there, and microbalance, which will be measuring the mass with respect to temperature or time. So TG8 measures mass change with respect to temperature under controlled inert conditions. So let us consider a sample of calcium carbonate. So it is subjected to TGA. There will be different decomposition patterns, and when calcium carbonate decomposes, you know, calcium oxide and carbon dioxide will be formed. Carbon dioxide being gas, it will escape, and what is left behind is calcium oxide. So there will be decrease in the mass. So that decrease in the mass with increase in the temperature, it will be recorded. Now let us discuss about its instrumentation. As you can see, it consists of a sample holder. So this sample holder, it is made up of crucible that is made up of polymeric material, and it can tolerate very high temperature. Atmospheric control and inert atmosphere is maintained by flushing inert gases like helium, neon, argon, etc. at constant temperature. Furnace, as you can see, it should be able to heat the sample holder up to say 1500 degrees Celsius and sometime even more. So the rate of heating, it should be linear, and the sample holder should be placed in the heat zone. It should have uniform temperature, and there should be provision to vary the heating rate. So when we talk about the thermobalance, it measures change in the mass of the sample, and the change in the mass of the sample should be recorded to an accuracy of plus minus 0.01 degrees percentage. And nowadays electronically self-balancing device is used to measure the change. Now let us discuss the thermal decomposition of pentahydrate copper sulfate, that is copper sulfate with 5 molecules of water. So you can see this is the thermogravimetric curve. So at different temperature range, there is decomposition, and there will be loss in the weight that will be measured. So if you see at between 90 to 150 degrees Celsius temperature, copper sulfate pentahydrate, it is losing the water, and it is getting converted into copper sulfate with 1 molecule of water, and 4 they are going. So there will be loss in the weight that is recorded, as you can see here. After that, between 200 to 275, again it will lose the remaining water, and it will get converted into copper sulfate. So again in this graph you can see there is decline. So from 275 up to 700, there will be no change in the weight. Above 700 to 900, what happens, the copper sulfate, it will decompose into copper oxide, sulfur dioxide, and oxygen. So this being gas, it will escape. What is left is copper oxide. So there is decline in the percent weight. Further, if you see, Again between 1000 to 1100, again copper oxide जो है that is getting converted into cuprous oxide and oxygen, so there is decline in the weight. So from the TGA curve, you can very easily make out that here anhydrous copper sulfate is formed, then cuprous oxide is formed above 1000 degrees Celsius. So depending on the requirement, copper sulfate pentahydrate, it will be ignited at appropriate temperatures. Now let us discuss the thermal decomposition curve of calcium oxalate hydrate. Now calcium oxalate hydrate, if you can see 18 degrees Celsius to 134 degrees Celsius, it will lose its water, forming calcium oxalate. So there will be decline in the weight. Again between 398 degrees Celsius to 478 degrees Celsius, this calcium oxalate, it will decompose into calcium carbonate and carbon dioxide. This being gas, it will escape, so you are left with only calcium carbonate. So you can see here in the graph. After that again there is decline in the weight. Since calcium oxide is formed, carbon dioxide will again escape. So at the temperature 695 to 838, again you will see decline in the weight. So this is how the thermogravimetric curve of calcium oxalate hydrate looks like. This is the TG curve of mixture of calcium and magnesium carbonate. So as seen from the graph, at about 480, thermal decomposition of magnesium carbonate occurs. You are left with magnesium oxide. So there is decline. Again at about 850, decomposition of calcium carbonate will occur into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide gas being it will escape. So this decline is due to the decomposition of calcium carbonate. So we have taken this as M1 and this difference as M2. So mass of calcium oxide formed, it can be calculated using this formula, that is M3 is equal to 1.27 M1 minus M2. So calcium oxide is formed by evolution of carbon dioxide when we decompose calcium carbonate. In differential thermal analysis, we will be taking one reference also with respect to the sample, and it will be subjected to same procedure. As you can see here in the diagram, along with the sample, we are taking reference also, and the difference in the temperature, it will be measured. So this is a comparative curve which we are getting. This is the TGA curve, whereas this is the DTA curve, and it is telling you about the enthalpy change. So the area which is under the DTA peak is the enthalpy change. If you lower the heating rate by reducing the sample weight, sharp peaks with improved resolution we will get. Now in differential scanning calorimetric method, it is a thermoanalytical technique in which difference in the amount of heat required to increase the temperature of the sample and reference, they are measured as a function of temperature. Now it is having a similar concept as DTA, that is comparison between the sample and the reference. What is measured is the heat flow which is required to keep both the specimen at the same temperature. So if we talk about the application of thermogravimetry, it is widely used in chemical analysis, like in the determination of purity and the thermal stability of primary and secondary standards which are used in titrimetry. Then in the determination of the composition of complex mixtures. Then in thermal decomposition of inorganic, organic and polymeric substance. In corrosion of metals in various atmosphere at elevated temperature. It is also used in the study of solid state reactions and in roasting and calcination of minerals.